Now, breaking news and the Tri-State's most accurate forecast. This is 9 on your side.
Good evening. Cincinnati Police guns are ending up on the street. The I-Team was able to buy one from a complete stranger in a parking lot. Chief Investigator Brendan Keefe is on your side tonight with the undercover video you have to see. Brendan?
Carol, every year Cincinnati officers take about 1,000 guns off the street. But this year the police department is also putting more than 1,000 guns in private hands.
You are watching hidden camera footage of a gun buy.
Slide that back.
The man on the left doesn't know he's selling a 9mm semi-automatic handgun to an investigative reporter. He never asked for my name or identification.
So these guys are students of mine. Oh, cool. You teacher? Yeah.
The teacher did ask one question.
You're legal to own, no domestic, no felony, anything like that?
Well, yeah, I'm glad you asked. These days you have no way of knowing in a private party sale, right?
We're not identifying the seller because this gun deal between strangers in a parking lot in broad daylight with no background check is perfectly legal in Ohio.
I'll take this one then. Okay. That sounds like a deal. We said $400, right?
$400 in cash and the gun is ours. But where did he get it?
Where'd you pick these up?
Cincinnati recycled theirs.
That's right. The gun used to belong to the Cincinnati Police Department, and we just bought a Smith & Wesson military and police 9mm handgun marked Cincinnati PD from a stranger on the street. The I-Team tracked the serial number of our gun to the police target range. So how did a pistol used to train police officers end up for sale on the internet? Cincinnati was offered a deal tough to refuse. Free guns. Smith & Wesson traded its newest model for the police department's 6-year-old M&P pistols. Here's the price quote: more than 1,200 new handguns valued at nearly $500,000, and they didn't cost the city a dime. Old pistols not purchased by officers for their personal collections were liquidated by Smith & Wesson through a local dealer.
Did you get it from that guy in Blue Ash? There's some guy in Blue Ash that sells them.
It happened in 2007 and again this year. Each time, more than 1,000 police guns end up in private hands. We have no way of knowing how many will end up on the street, but we were offered a choice between 2 former police guns in the parking lot.
1103 and 1056.
Yeah.
I guess you said those are badge numbers?
Nobody wants to be the mayor or the police chief that has to explain how one of their firearms was used in a murder.
State Rep John Becker says he understands the risks, but he's not only in favor of the city's free gun swap, he wants to go one step further.
If you're willing to have the used service weapons of officers being sold to the general public, why not these other weapons that are confiscated?
The lawmaker is talking about these guns. Becker is the author of House Bill 210 that would require Ohio police departments to sell all their guns to firearms dealers, even guns turned in or used in a crime.
To me, it's just a real shame to see those perfectly good firearms get sent to the scrap heap.
Representative Becker feels the same way about police guns.
Why should people be able to buy guns that a police officer uses without a background check?
Protesters attending a gun control rally on Fountain Square recently had no idea these guns strapped to the hips of officers protecting them could end up in the hands of criminals. Convicted heroin dealer Damon Weathington was found with a Cincinnati PD 9mm when he sold drugs to an informant near an elementary school. The gun had been stolen from an officer's car, but the felon could have easily bought a police gun from a stranger, just like we did.
All right, well, great.
You're legal to own. You said
Yes, sir.
No felonies, no domestic, and you're of age. So
no, sir. We'd have no way of knowing otherwise, right? Except our word.
Neither Smith & Wesson nor Cincinnati Police would talk with the I-Team about their gun trade agreement. Former Police Chief James Craig personally signed the deal. At the same time, he was publicly criticizing unregulated private party gun sales, the same kind of sale that allowed us to buy a Cincinnati Police gun off the street.
Who are we selling handguns to? What about the mentally ill.
The I-Team did obtain city emails showing the police handpicked Smith & Wesson's local dealer, a retired Cincinnati sergeant, and even helped a private citizen contact him to buy an old department gun. In July, officers were told to act quickly if they wanted to buy their old sidearms for $325 each, or, quote, these firearms will be sold to someone else. Representative John Becker agrees it is about the money. Just as old police cruisers are sold to the public, he says guns are an asset worth selling no matter the risk.
An old Crown Vic that used to be owned by the department could be used to run over a police officer and kill him. The same way it is possible for a firearm to be used the same way.
Which brings us back to our hidden camera gun buy in the parking lot. The teacher who brought his students to witness a gun deal between strangers is also a retired police officer.
You're former law enforcement, so I don't have to worry about these having been used in a crime or anything. And Becker's bill that would ban destruction of all guns by police is now in committee in Columbus. And Representative Becker has 7 co-sponsors. We gave Cincinnati Police more than a month to do an interview. And even though the free guns saved taxpayers $500,000 this year, Smith & Wesson and the police department won't talk to us. And we again gave them more than a month to respond. As for this police gun that we bought on the street, WCPO is going to turn it over to a local sheriff who will check it out and then destroy it. Carol?
So Brendan, are police starting to find their old guns on criminal suspects?
We don't know because CPD doesn't track that information. Even though nearly all officers' guns were etched Cincinnati PD right here on the slide, the police department responded to our document request that there was nothing in the records to, quote, identify law enforcement guns.
Really good report. Thank you. Well, we have more news now.